For thousands of years, one substance has captivated humanity like no other. It's been worshipped as divine, started wars, collapsed economies, and made ordinary men into kings. But why? Why has this particular metal held such power over us? Why has gold remained valuable across every civilization, every economic system, and every technological revolution in human history? Welcome to the Untold Story of Gold. Today, we're going to explore how this single element has built some of history's greatest empires and destroyed others. I'm not just going to tell you that gold is valuable. I'm going to show you the dramatic moments in history where gold changed everything. By the end of this video, you'll understand why gold isn't just another metal or investment. It's a force that has shaped human civilization itself and continues to do so today. If you're fascinated by the hidden stories behind our financial world, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel right now. We release new videos every week that reveal the untold history behind today's economy. Part 1. Ancient Beginnings. Divine Metal. Our story begins over 5,000 years ago in ancient Egypt. To the Egyptians, gold wasn't just valuable, it was divine. The flesh of the gods was believed to be made of gold, which is why it never tarnished or degraded. When King Tutankhamun was buried in 1325 BCE, his tomb contained over 240 pounds of pure gold. The pharaoh's golden death mask remains one of humanity's most recognizable treasures. But this obsession with gold came at a cost. To feed their insatiable hunger for gold, the Egyptians established the first large-scale mining operations in human history. Thousands of slaves and prisoners were worked to death in brutal conditions. This established a pattern that would repeat throughout history. Enormous human suffering in pursuit of the yellow metal. But gold wasn't just for the afterlife. It became the world's first truly global currency. Unlike grain, animals, or other forms of early money, gold had universal appeal and couldn't be easily destroyed. An ounce of gold from Egypt would be just as valuable in ancient China. Here's what's fascinating. While virtually every other ancient technology or system has been replaced, gold's fundamental role hasn't changed in 5,000 years. No other human invention or discovery has maintained its value for so long. Part 2. The Golden Empires. By 100 CE, the Roman Empire had become the world's largest superpower. At its heart was the most sophisticated monetary system the world had ever seen, based entirely on gold. The Aureus, Rome's gold coin, became the dollar of the ancient world. It standardized trade across 3 continents and allowed Rome to build its legendary infrastructure. But what's not often told is how this gold-based system eventually contributed to Rome's downfall. As Rome expanded too quickly, emperors began secretly reducing the gold content in their coins. History's first major currency debasement. By the time of Emperor Diocletian, Roman coins contained less than 5% of the gold they had just 2 centuries earlier. The result? The world's first documented hyperinflation. Prices rose by over 1,000% in just a few decades. Rome's mighty economy collapsed under the weight of its worthless money, proving that even gold's power depends on honest systems. Fast forward to the 1500s, when Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés encountered the Aztec Empire, he found a civilization where gold was abundant but valued primarily for its beauty and religious significance, not as money. Within just 3 years, Spain had looted over 8 tons of gold from the Americas. But this created an unexpected problem. Too much gold flooded into Europe too quickly. The price of everyday goods in Spain rose by 400% over the next century. The Spanish Empire, despite having more gold than any civilization in history, eventually collapsed under crushing debt. Spain had discovered a painful economic lesson. Gold's value comes from its scarcity. By flooding the market with too much gold too quickly, they ironically destroyed the very power they sought to gain. Part 3. Gold Standards and Modern Power. By the 1800s, the world's most powerful nations had established the gold standard, backing their paper currencies with physical gold reserves. This created unprecedented economic stability and fueled the Industrial Revolution. Britain became the world's superpower largely because the British pound, backed by gold, became the world's most trusted currency. This allowed Britain to finance global trade and expansion like no empire before it. But then came World War I in 1914. The massive costs of the war forced nations to print more money than their gold reserves could back. One by one, countries abandoned the gold standard to finance the war. The result? Crushing inflation, especially in Germany, where wheelbarrows of money couldn't buy a loaf of bread by 1923. This economic catastrophe directly paved the way for the rise of extremist governments and, eventually, World War II. After World War II, world leaders gathered at Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to rebuild the global financial system. The solution? A modified gold standard where the US dollar would be backed by gold and other currencies backed by the dollar. This system transformed America into a superpower overnight. For 27 years, the dollar's gold backing created the greatest period of middle-class prosperity in history. But it couldn't last forever. On August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon made a shocking announcement that would change the global economy forever. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets. With that single decision, for the first time in human history, no major currency was backed by gold. We entered an unprecedented experiment, a world of pure fiat currency backed by nothing but government promises. Part 4. Gold, the Modern World. Today, over 50 years after Nixon's decision, something remarkable has happened. Despite no longer being official money, central banks worldwide still hold over 35,000 tons of gold in their vaults, worth over $2 trillion. In fact, since the 2008 financial crisis, central banks have been buying gold at the fastest rate since 1971. Countries like China, Russia, and India have more than doubled their gold reserves. The question is, why? Since 1971, we've seen over 500 different fiat currencies lose significant value or collapse entirely. Meanwhile, gold has risen from $35 per ounce to over $2,000, a 5,700% increase. Here's what central banks understand. Throughout human history, every single fiat currency has eventually failed. Gold, on the other hand, has never gone to zero in 5,000 years. All the gold ever mined would fit into just 3.5 Olympic swimming pools. Only about 2,000 tons are mined each year, increasing the global supply by just 1.5% annually. This natural scarcity is precisely why gold can't be inflated away like paper currencies. There's simply no way to print more of it. During the 2008 financial crisis, gold prices doubled in just 3 years. During COVID-19, gold hit new all-time highs. This pattern has repeated throughout history. When empires and economies falter, gold rises. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on the lessons from 5,000 years of gold's history. Gold's power isn't granted by governments or institutions. Instead, it's a collective human agreement that spans across every culture on Earth. It's the only form of money that was chosen by the free market, not by decree. Throughout history, gold has built empires by creating stable monetary systems. However, it has also led to the downfall of empires that attempted to manipulate it. And despite thousands of years of technological advancement, no one has managed to create a better store of value than this simple element with atomic number 79. So what have we learned? Gold's enduring value and its role in shaping human civilization are undeniable. It remains an irreplaceable asset, deeply ingrained in our collective history and economy. So, what have we learned from 5,000 years of gold history? First, gold derives its power not from governments or institutions, but from a collective human agreement spanning every culture on Earth. It's the only form of money chosen by the free market, not by decree. Second, while gold has built empires by creating stable monetary systems, it has also destroyed empires when they've attempted to manipulate it. And finally, despite thousands of years of technological advancement, no one has created a better store of value than this simple element with atomic number 79. From Egyptian tombs to Spanish galleons, from Fort Knox to modern investment portfolios, gold continues its remarkable journey through human history. In a world of increasing uncertainty, gold remains what it has always been: rare, beautiful, and impossible to destroy. The same ounce of gold that bought a fine toga in ancient Rome would buy a fine suit today. Perhaps that's gold's greatest lesson. Emperors and empires rise and fall, currencies come and go, but gold endures. A 5,000-year story that's still being written. If you enjoyed this deep dive into gold's extraordinary history, please like this video and subscribe for more content exploring the fascinating stories behind the global economy. Thanks for watching The Untold Story of Gold: How One Metal Built and Destroyed Empires.